Good evening, guys. Haven't done a video in a little while. I like to do videos on things that I review or I buy. Everything I do is paid for by my own money, and I want to go through and do a USA versus China series here. And no offense to this, but I want to show you what about $40 can get you in knives and walk through kind of some options. And I think that the U.S. companies deserve our money, guys, compared to these other companies. Now, SOG is a U.S. company. You can see on the box here, I don't know if you guys can read that, designed in the U.S., guaranteed for life, but they're manufactured, they used to be manufactured in Taiwan. And this guy that I have in my hand is manufactured in China. So it's got a Chinese D2 steel blade. What made me buy this, I don't really like spending my money other than to do comparisons or a cheap truck knife that I don't care, or a boating knife if it falls in the water. Really don't care about whether I lose it or not. But this one has a axis lock, or whatever they want to call it. Basically, the lock that was patented originally by Benchmade and then came off patent, and it's a flipper. So this is the first one I've seen where it's a flipper, which I love flippers. And as a safety guy, as a professional, I really like these types of back locks because it keeps your fingers free of the blade when you're closing it. So you can see your hand does not need to be in the way to open or to close that knife. Now this just came out of the box 10 seconds before opening with you guys, and this is not really broken in. It is a pretty smooth action, though. I messed that up there flipping it, but very nice. I believe this is the second generation of this knife. The first generation, they had some complaints. The jibbing was too sharp on there, and that the pocket clip had SOG written on it real big and gaudy. This is the green, kind of micarta version. Pretty good texturing, decent size. This is a buck for comparison next to it, and I think the buck honestly is, for the money, a better knife. A lot smoother opening. This thing doesn't really have any jibbing. It's smooth here, but man, this thing just opens nice. The buck has like a flatter, wider spot to put your hand if you're cutting, a little bit bigger grip. The pocket clip, I will admit, a little weird, but it pushes, if you have jeans on, it pushes it to the side of your pocket, which I like. If you don't have jeans on, it kind of tends to ride to the center of a pocket of like a pair of pants or anything with a truly vertical pocket. But this is a liner lock, so you slide out of the way and you close it. But with these liner locks, if you're pushing your thumb here and you're closing the blade, you have the chance to have the blade come down and cut you. But anyway, these you can get on sale from your retailers around 40 bucks. I just bought the more premium pro version of this knife, the 843, I believe, which will be here this week. This is the 840, but this is a great knife from Buck, and I'm not normally a Buck fan, but I think they hit the ball out of the ballpark with this 840. Very, very good knife. And then when you go to what's coming out of China, SOG, SOG, whatever you want to call it, decent company. The blade centering, it's off a tiny little bit where the Buck is dead center. I don't know if you can see on the camera there. The Buck's dead center. This one's off ever so slightly, not enough to worry about it. I don't like the button flippers here on any knife, really. I like having the back flipper, but this thing opens nicely. It's got some jibbing or texture on the back, which is really good. I do like the hardware. It's a nice looking knife, reversible pocket clip. And like I said, the axis lock or button lock, just being able to open that, and this thing's smooth. It falls right into place. It's pretty well built for a Chinese knife. but same cost on these two. You can see that with the buck, you get a little more blade. So you can see that blade sticking out on the bottom, a little longer blade. This is Buck's, oh boy, I forget what it's called, 420 steel, and the sharpness, I would say, yeah, the Buck is definitely sharper out of the box than this D2 SOG, but you know, the SOG is a nice, I think a pretty nice knife for being a Chinese knife. So I would support America. I'd buy this one every day, all day long, over this SOG to support American jobs and American people making this versus the Chinese jobs, you know, that provided this. The only saving grace is that the money, because this is a US-based company, the profits and money are coming back to the US for the designers and royalties and everything. But that's up to you if you want to spend your money. So much is made overseas. I'm a believer in global economy and that there are different countries that make good products and everything. I would just like to see our dependence on China go down a little bit. And I think there's some US companies that still make some quality products for the money. So for the $40 range, like I said, I would buy this 840 Buck made in the USA, all day long, rides on ball bearings, very, very smooth, and just a great light feeling knife. I don't think this is much heavier than a Benchmade, really a bug out or anything, because it's a light plastic composite type handle, and this is one of their value knives in their new modern line, but very good. This one feels a little more robust just because if you can see, it's got a full stainless inner liner under that plastic, so it's got some heft to it. This SOG knife is probably double the weight of the Buck, and feels like decent quality. But like I said, I got to break it in here and play with it. But the button locks, I do like it, and that's why I bought it. This is the first knife that I've seen with a flipper and the button lock, axis lock. So I wanted to try it out. I hope I can find, if anybody has seen one or wants to comment, a US made knife with the axis lock and a flipper at a decent price. I would love to add one to my collection. But guys, these are my, I'll call them green micarta type knives. I have another one coming, Case Longhouse, one of the newer ones that's also coming in green that I'll add to the collection and show you guys. Yeah, I'm telling you, this Buck is a great knife. Shout out to them. I think they're doing it right. This is pretty darn good quality for what it is and for the money. And my money being spent, I think I'm going to buy a couple of these as gifts for people, and you know, buy some more American-made knives. These SOG, like I said, decent, but I think I'm going to try to not spend much money on these Chinese knives. These are kind of the beater, don't mind if I break them knives. These are users, the Buck, they're not fancy, but I bet you this knife's around 20, 30 years from now to give to my son or my daughter, just because of how well they're built. So anyway, have a great day. See you guys.